We take you now to the women's Super G, Lindsey Vonn about to make her run.
Captain Zero, research explorer in time and space.
Don't you mean in space? It probably wasn't a smart move to build his command center at the foot of an active volcano. Today, Captain Zero probes Uranus, a desolate, cratered surface, constantly venting noxious fumes. So, are we actually gonna see Captain Zero at some point?
Somewhere in a remote, uncharted region of the planet called Earth stands the laboratory of Captain Zero.
And yes, there has to be a thunderclap every time I say Captain Zero. It's in his contract.
Captain Zero and his associates experiment in time and space.
Oh wait, did I say that already? Sorry, I got excited.
To plan for the future.
Contact established. We now transmit you direct to the laboratory of Captain Zero. Please stand by.
Zero to Jet. Come in, Jet. Over.
Jet, are you wearing your official Captain Zero weightlifting belt? Over.
Jet to Zero. Come in, Captain. Over.
All secure, Jet. I'll contact you when I'm ready to land. Zero. Over and out.
Yes, sir. Jet, out.
And don't play with the electrical arcing thing. It's a vital component for doing science. What? No, of course we didn't just turn the footage of the rocket 90 degrees to the left. Why would you think that? And his fascination with the novelty of spaceflight wears off almost as quickly as it took for us to lose ours in the real world. I wish someone would invent the internet so I could waste time more efficiently at work.
Wish I had a rocket ship all my own. I'd blast off for Mars or Venus right now. I'd be famous. I'd go down in history as the first man to fly to another planet.
You mean besides Mars or Venus?
Zero to Jet. Come in, Jet. Over.
Jet? Jet? Open the docking bay doors, Jet! Oh my god! Ah!
Over. Jet.
Yes, Starbuck!
Come in, Jet. Over.
Oh, yes, sir. Jet to Zero. Come in, Captain. Over.
It's about time. What in the world were you doing? Over.
Well,
On second thought, Jet, just forget it. I don't really think I want to know.
Well, no, not exactly. I was sitting here concentrating.
Okay, never mind. Alert the north field. I'm coming in. Zero. Over and out.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Jet, out.
And wipe off the console this time. You make a real mess when you concentrate.
Tetro.
Yes, Jet?
Captain Zero's coming in on the north field.
Right.
See, Captain Zero could have radioed the North Field directly, but him and Tetro aren't exactly on speaking terms. So far, this show has not exactly earned the Captain Zero.
Man, what a ship.
It's stealthy, too. I barely saw or heard it land 20 yards outside the window.
Golly, wish I'd been born a couple of 100 years ago. I bet I'd have thought of making airplanes even then. I'd have been famous. I would have gone down in history as the first man in the world ever to fly.
I could have been a contender.
Oh, hi, Captain.
Hi, Jet.
How'd it go? Did you have any trouble?
Not a bit. The ship operated perfectly.
Mandy Patinkin is Inigo Montoya as the Dread Space Pirate Roberts.
But what happened to you?
Well, I guess I got kind of lost in thought.
You mean daydreaming?
Captain, you're kind of in my personal space.
I was the first man in the world ever to fly.
You know, Jet, you'll fly a lot higher if you learn to keep your feet on the ground.
Don't tell your mother what we do in here, Jet.
What do you think of her?
Boy, she sure is a beaut. How fast will she go?
I don't know exactly. She's still in the experimental stage. I had her up to about 12 miles per second, but she's built to go twice that fast.
Why, at those speeds, we'd reach Mars in almost 11 years.
Macro,
Yes, sir.
you can take her up for a shakedown whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Did you fart?
Boy, you sure come a long way since man first decided to fly.
No doubt about that.
Captain,
Yes?
when did man first get the idea of flying?
Well, the idea of flying has been in man's mind for a long time, Jet. Probably ever since he first noticed birds.
Stop yelling at me, Captain Zero. I didn't mean to question you.
Well, there's an old Greek legend about a man named Icarus who made a pretty successful flight
How?
with wings like those of a bird.
Well, what happened to him?
He did all right until he got a little overconfident and flew too close to the sun.
What happened then?
Well, it's an old Greek legend of a dumbass kid who got himself a library card and let me get back to work.
Fell into the sea and drowned.
I wouldn't call that a very successful flight.
It's just a mythological legend, Jeff.
Like the Bible or the female orgasm.
Making a flying machine.
Well, if we skip over the Wright brothers and all the others who've contributed so much to modern aeronautics, we'd end up with Leonardo da Vinci. His machines were the first ones of which we have any real records.
Leonardo da Vinci? I thought he was a painter.
And you're right.
For a change.
One of the world's greatest. But he was also a sculptor, architect, doctor,
Delta Knight,
scientist, engineer, and practically everything else you can think of, as well as an inventor.
Man, he sure must have been busy.
He was.
like I was before you came along. Jeez.
One of them had two huge wings, like a bird.
Like in the Legend of Icarus?
Right, and the theory was that when a man got inside the machine and operated the levers, the wings would flap like those of a bird and the machine would fly.
Did anyone ever try it?
Not that I know of.
Well, unless you played Assassin's Creed 2, that was awesome.
Flapping wings. Like a bird. Captain,
Yeah?
can we go back to the time of Leonardo da Vinci and see his flying machines?
Good idea. Set the time machine for the year 1515, June the 12th.
Man, the first Doctor Who was suave looking.
The castle of King Francis I in Milan, Italy. Bring up the voltage to 400,000.
Is it possible to be that precise with a giant wall-mounted trackball?
Stand by to activate the cycle reactor.
Yes, sir.
Only bad things can happen from this kid piloting the TARDIS.
Stand by for operation of the time machine. We're going to try to project back to Leonardo da Vinci in the 16th century.
Jet doesn't screw it up.
Electro generators, 8.713. Klystron output, 4.995. Set the trilotron at 40.6732.
Right.
Ready, Jet?
Ready, sir.
Ready in the electric chamber?
All set, Captain.
Stand by for signal.
Stand by. Keep waiting. Wait for it. Oh crap, that wasn't a good sound.
Activate the cycle reactor.
Hey, it's the flux capacitor. Only crap.
We're cracking the fourth dimension. Good. We're projecting back into time.
Don't just take my word for it. Look at these nonsense gauges. The fourth dimension is cracked like hell.
Steady. Increase the field output. Double the rise time. 1600.
If one of those vacuum tubes blows, they're all dead.
1550. Stand by. 30. 20. 1515. Cut the cycle reactor and lock it.
I'll set the parking brake.
Control.
Did we make it, Captain?
I think so. Activate the sound wave segregator and patch it into the time machine audio.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and remind me later, Jet, we need to swing by the Old West. I need to give Doc Holliday his mustache and goatee back. Jet, I think you just parked us on Leonardo da Vinci.
All set, sir.
Stand by to activate the view screen.
Yes, sir.
Bring up the beam focus. Check off multiplier. Check target voltage.
Wiggle the mouse.
Increase image acceleration.
Disengage the screensaver.
Golly, what's that?
That's the castle of King Francis I in Italy.
But I thought we were going to see Leonardo da Vinci and his flying machines.
We are. But in the year 1515, Da Vinci was the royal painter. He lived in that tower on the right. Stand by to refocus inside.
Yes, sir.
Pina Gata da Vida, honey.
There he is, Jet. Leonardo da Vinci, considered by many to be the greatest genius who ever lived.
Golly, what's he doing?
He's working on the Mona Lisa, one of his most famous paintings. He started it many years ago, but he died still feeling it was unfinished.
There, finished.
What's that funny-looking thing over there on the right?
That's Da Vinci's model of a 10-barrel gun, the forerunner of the modern machine gun. He also had ideas for tanks, armored cars, and many other instruments of war centuries before they were ever built.
Like the Segway.
Da Vinci was far ahead of his time, Jet. In fact, it wasn't until our own century that his greatness as a scientist was fully realized. For instance, there's his model of a swinging bridge, a projector, and sketches of pulleys and many other things.
Criminy. What's that?
Oh, that's a model for his greatest invention, the water slide.
That aerial screw was meant to be turned by manpower at a speed to lift the machine and its occupant into the air. Of course, manpower would never have done it.
Because it's impossible for a man to screw himself.
That helicopter would actually have flown.
Golly. Captain, look.
It's a model of your Hunter from the future.
That's right, Jet. Leonardo developed the principles of both vertical and horizontal flight.
But mainly downwards flight.
And that machine is the original forerunner of powered aircraft, conceived almost 4 centuries before man